Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Entitled Parents. Story 1. My mom won't give me any privacy. 19F. I'm a 19, almost 20-year-old female who's living at home. I've been an introvert my whole life, staying at home playing video games during my education. I've taken a gap year and finally started blooming. I've met this sweet guy at my work and my mom would not accept the fact that I've started hanging out with him. Today I went to his place. My mom have made a group chat with me, my mom and my dad, so that I can share my plans with them. My mom told me before that I wasn't allowed to go to his place, but I can't hold back. I lied to them and told them that I was going to my friend's place, when in reality, I was gonna hang out with the guy, watch a movie and bake cinnamon rolls together. My mom kept calling me while I was at his place. I ignored the calls for hours. She had called me a total of 16 times, sending me messages where she requests my location. Later on, I find out that she knew I was at his place, because for some magical reason, she decided to track me on Snapchat or some other application that I'm unaware of. I feel disgusted, I feel disrespected. I absolutely hate it. I want to move out as soon as possible. What do I do? Edit. I am graduated and I've got a full-time job. Story 2. Update to Ida for refusing to babysit and pay rent. Hi everyone, it's been a while. I wanted to start by saying thank you to everyone who helped me feel valid in the way I feel. Unfortunately, I've decided to come back home and things almost immediately hit the fan, but I have a long-term plan for the meantime and a semi-short-term plan. I've been able to bump up my hours at work and I'm hoping by my birthday I can buy a motorbike. It's in March, so a little while away for now. My mum and I got into a huge argument that turned physical and I do have a small shoulder injury, but it should be fine. Where I work is like a huge fridge and it helps with other parts of my body that hurt. Once I have my motorbike, a good 70% of my wages will go into savings and I'm hoping by this time next year my partner and I will have enough saved to move out into our own place. My job pays fairly well, so I'm also hoping to keep to myself while under my mum's roof and work hard. As well as the plans mentioned, I've worked things out in a way where I'll have paid off all my debts by the end of October latest. I'm not sure what else to update with, but if you have any questions leave them and I'll answer as soon as I can. Laughing face. Story 3. My mother threw a fit over sauce packets. This happened a few months ago. During work it was a rough day, so I knew my plan was to get high to relax at home. I scheduled a DoorDash from work so when I get there and get high the food will be there. I got home, take a shower, light up and mellowed out. It was just to relax me. My food comes, I ask if my mother wanted some and wanted nuggets. In the bag they forgot the sweet and sour sauce again. This happened like 4 times already. I either reported just for the $3 I paid for it or just take my L and leave it alone. So my mother heard me sigh out at the sauce and asked what happened. I told her, and she quickly switched to Mad Mama Bear mode. I tried to calm her down but she refused. Since last time I had no sauce, she offered her sweet and sour sauce that she keeps just in case she ever get fast food again. I explained that she didn't have to give that sauce to me, but I rejected the offer, but she insisted. But now she is mad, and complaining that she didn't want to give up her sauce, which didn't make sense. So she got dressed quickly and angrily got in her car. Being that this isn't my first rodeo to fast food freakouts, I went with her. This whole time I'm upset at her for ruining the nice high I got and just wanted to relax. We got there, she speed walked into and demanded a manager. I wasn't embarrassed, but just like when I was younger when she did this. I recorded the last few seconds of her at the counter to show my sister, who would understand since she went through the rough of our mother worse than I did. We got our sauces. She made sure it was like 5 of them and walked out. Back in the car she smiled like nothing just happened and I explained that it wasn't necessary. Back home I enjoyed my food when got a bit cold. TLDR, my mother yelled in a fast food place because of missing sauce packets. Story 4. Mom gets mad we don't want to stay in the living room with her. Some backstory. 3 years ago my dad died from a heart attack. that he was told would happen if he didn't stop smoking but ignored it, and since then my mom will not let me and my brother go. So in the evening when we, my brother and I, are in our room and not in the living room with my mom, she gets extremely mad. It starts small like, are you guys not going to stay in the living room? But then it turns into her screaming at threatening to take away our phones if we don't stay with her. This is normally toward my brother because I mostly spend most of my time on my room, but if my brother refuses to go with her, she'll start saying, "OP, are you not going to come and show a good example to your brother?" It's honestly irritating, also because if I want to sleep in my room, only when I tell her, she'll scream at me to stay in the living room. I once decided to sleep in my room and not stay in the living room, and she came up to me and slapped my leg screaming at me to sleep where she could see me. Honestly, she says she's just scared of being left alone in the house and all this will change when we get a new house, but I don't think it will change anytime soon. Story 5. My mom keeps pressuring me to dye my hair. So I'm forced to go on a trip to America, which I had pay for my own ticket. My mom doesn't speak much English and needs help getting around. The purpose is to visit my aunt cause she is sick and I wouldn't mind, but it's for 2 weeks. I only wanted to go for 1 week. My mom is a very pushy and manipulative person. Yesterday, she was like, you should dye your hair with highlights so you can look pretty. A girl needs to look pretty, especially if you're going to America. I literally told her reasons why I don't want to. Because last time I got highlights, it damaged my hair a lot and a lot of PPL said it aged me. Then she kept bugging me yesterday and today. So every time she sees a woman with dyed hair or highlights, then she's like, oh, that woman has awesome highlights or something like that. It's just frustrating to me. Today my uncle came over, then my mom complains about it to him and he doesn't even seem to care because it's someone's personal choice. He was just there to grab a tool from us and then she's bitching about my hair choices like. My mom's always been pushy about my life and my choices. I'm fed up tbh. I'm an adult BTW with a full-time job and I pay the bills. I honestly think I should move out, but my mom is Asian and is old, so her values are very old-fashioned. I don't know how to speak to her without her getting upset or defensive. I don't wanna be pushover cause I can be at times, but I put my foot down for once and then she acts like that. It's just frustrating. I remember when I was 22, I went on a date with a guy and then she got super weird about it. She called my brother and was like, tell her not to do anything with him. Then my brother told me a week after. I think I need to break off this toxic cycle that she has. She's very manipulative and irritating. I hate speaking about my mom like that, but it's gotten to the point where she truly pisses me off. Story 6. Is my mom an entitled parent? So my mom, 37, and I, female 16, have recently gotten into a debate of whether I should be financially responsible of paying a monthly bill of $200 or lower for a phone and gas bill. For context, my mom made my sister, Amy 18, and I both get jobs at the beginning of the year, or she told us that we would be sent back to live with my dad, so I started working a part-time job at Chick-fil-A. This was a few months ago, so now I'll get to the part where I wonder if my mom is entitled or not. Recently she sent a message in a family group chat between her, Amy, and I, stating that we each owe her $90 a month for a phone bill because one of us is 18 and the other one of us has a job. She said that we need to be financially responsible, to an extent which I agree. I pay my mom in gas already for taking me to work. I work 3 minutes up the street by car and I pay $2.50 every ride she gives me, so ultimately $5 a day. I work 5 to 6 days a week, so I'm paying maybe $100 or so per month. I told her that I'm not willing to pay $200 or so for all the things that she creates out of nowhere. I said that if she wants me to pay it, she can use the child support money that my father sends, which she was already using to pay my part of the phone bill and gas, because I just can't do this anymore. We have been arguing back and forth and she's saying that I owe her this money or I don't get to have a phone. What do I do? Story 7. My dad and sister tag team make fun of me. For multiple years my dad and sister would make fun of me for playing my game and not knowing much about the classes I'm in. Even though I just barely started them, I can hear them talking about me behind closed doors. I don't know what to do about it and I already am depressed and anxiety. Story 8. Abusive entitled mom tries to call police on me and gets herself arrested. This isn't my first post on here. I am a 23-year-old nanny and have posted entitled parent stories from that job. But I do also hold another position as a cashier at night/weekends and I finally have one from this job. So I work as a cashier at a 24-hour grocery store. And this particular store, while we do technically have a corporate office and are a chain in a way, we are privately owned, and the employees are considered the owners because we invest part of our pay into the company. Which, while we have management and supervisors, we are given broad discretion with denying service and throwing people out. Basically, if you have a good reason and they can see it in our cameras, there is a good reason, we are good to go. Okay, now for the story. It was a busy Saturday afternoon just a few days ago. And we were packed to the point the lines are wrapped around aisles. So it is loud, busy, packed and hot. I'm tired and see it's only about 30 minutes till my shift ends. And I'm trying to keep up my nice smile and customer service voice. Briefly to my side I hear a kid yell. He looks about 3ish. Not like tantrum but like just angry, trying to get mom's attention. I ignore him because kids having tantrums or getting angry is normal. I start talking to the lady in front of me and I hear the kid, who by the way was actually quite sweet. He yells again for mom. Mom, I want my juice now. He was yelling but it was no way close to a tantrum or a fit. His family was the next in line. Frankly, if he'd had been in a different line I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. In my opinion he was more like getting mom's attention. And his mom, entitled mom, just snaps. She turns around, grabs him by his shoulders, goes nose to nose and screams as she shakes him back and forth, "You will not behave like this, you brat. I am so tired of this. If you do not stop you will get a beating when we get home." Now I was shocked and so was everyone around. She did not say punishment or even spanking, she said beating. Now I was about to tell the lady in front of me to excuse me while I talked to the mother, but she jumped in so fast. She went up to the M and said, "How dare you talk to your son like that? He is a child and you should never put your hands on him or threaten to. Then embarrass him in front of everyone." I was proud this lady said something, but I was still going to add. I paged for a manager in the process cause I had a feeling this would go bad. M starts yelling back she has the right to do whatever she wants to her son. She could spank, beat, and yell as she sees fit. Now I jump on verbally. "Ma'am, I need you to take yourself and leave the store. Your children and husband, who BTW did nothing during this, can check out, but you need to leave. Excuse me," she yelled. "You need to leave. We do not tolerate abuse or children or other customers." "You have some both," by screaming at this woman. I turned to the other woman as much as I didn't want to had to say, "Ma'am, I appreciate your concern but let us handle this." She wasn't mad, she stepped away to bag her things. I turn back to the mom and she is losing it. "You can't do that. I have the right to shop here. I demand to see a manager, blah blah blah." I swear she reaches a pitch only dogs could hear. At this point my awesome manager shows up. "Hey OP, what's going on?" Before I can speak, M speaks up. "This B won't lead checkout because she doesn't like how I discipline my child." "That's not true, Manger. What happened was..." Before I could finish he spoke up. "Ma'am, we do not tolerate B calling of any kind in our store and I need you to be quiet so I can hear from both of you." He turns to me. I then rattle off the story and his eyes widen. Mind you, again it's a busy day and other customers are around listening and about 3 or 4 people jump in to defend me. Which thankfully my manager listened to. He turns to the lady and her family. "Ma'am, I need you to leave this store. Your family can finish checking out but you need to leave. If you don't I'll call police. Frankly you'll be lucky if I don't do that anyway with the threat you made." She tries to stand up for herself but my manager just escorts her out. The family just follow after her. Without their food. You'd think this was the end but, nope. About 15 minutes later, after I fill out a report with my manager explaining everything, I head outside to get in my car and head home. I'm on the phone with a friend trying to explain what happened with the lady, but as I walk outside I see a police car outside, no lights, just outside. I thought it was weird because I didn't see anyone get caught shoplifting that day. So I shrug and move on. As I reach my car I hear it, "That's the girl officer. She's the one who assaulted me and refused to let me shop here." I turn and see the woman from earlier with her kids and husband with 2 cops. I couldn't help it, I laugh. "Are you serious, lady?" My friend is trying to talk to me but the officer just says, "Ma'am, can you come here so I can get your side and settle this?" I tell my friend I'll call her back and go talk to the officer. He keeps me away from the but I can still see and hear her. I briefly explain what happened. I told him I believed what she was doing to her son was abusive and that it was not okay. The cop asked for specifics and I tell him what I saw and heard her threaten. But before the cop can say anything the yells, "I'm his mother, I can discipline as I see fit. I can beat him if I want." Again I'm wide-eyed with her wording, still using beating not spanking, and the cop looks just as shocked. "If you'd like, my manager is inside, his name is," his name, "and he can show you the cameras. And this store actually has microphones so you can hear what she says." I admit that I refused service and called her abusive, but that's it, I never touched her. Still yelling. "See, she admits to verbally assaulting me and refusing me service because of who I am. Arrest her." The cop sighs, looks at his partner and nods. He looks at me and says, "Okay, you can go. I'm going to give you this card with an email you can send your statement to about what happened." The cop turns to the lady and I see the other cop has his hand on the saying something to her. I'm assuming it was she was being arrested or investigated because she then shouted, "No, I did nothing wrong, she should be charged, not me. I'm his mom and can do what I want." She tries to leave and while one has his hand on her arm the other stopped her. She instantly backs down and goes inside with one of the officers, the other stays with the kids and husband who hadn't said anything throughout all this, just looking at the ground. I couldn't resist. Before she was out of earshot I yelled, "Have a good day, Karen." The cop turned and gave me that look of "Don't push your luck." I shrugged and got in my car and called my friend back to tell her what happened. When I got back to work on Sunday I asked my manager what happened. He said he showed the video and made a report. Mom got arrested and we were told CPS would be getting involved more than likely. I really hope that the dad is a good parent and she's the only abusive one. I hope those kids get a better life and I hope that poor boy knows he did nothing wrong. I'll update if I hear any more from the cops about the case. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.